difference between augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. It is a range of experiences. On one hand, we have virtual reality, which is a total immersive experience where you put on a headset and you are disconnected from your environment. Everything you see and interact is a 3D generated object. And on the other hand, for augmented reality, you have a connection to your environment, like in HoloLens, and you have some extra information, maybe 3D or maybe audio information that's available to you, which is augmenting your reality. Also, we have mobile phone applications like Pokemon Go. You are looking through the glass of your phone and you're able to find 3D objects in the real world. And this whole range of experiences we call mixed reality. And short, it's called XR.
Thank you so much for being here today. We have an amazing guest today. His name is Sandir Vinhoff. He is a creator of interactive experiences for augmented reality. Today, he's going to be speaking about, is digital fashion ready for VR? So thank you so much, Sandir, for being here today. Please let us know your work experience, your amazing experience in the world of VR, AR, and how is the future looking like for fashion? I'm very interested and very excited about this topic. So I'll give you the stage right now. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks a lot for the introduction. What I will show today is indeed my work in the field of digital fashion, augmented reality fashion. I'm let's say a one-person research lab, not bigger than that. I have a background in computer science, and I studied at the Art Academy. And these days I'm bridging those two worlds. It's a pity I can't see who is in the audience right here, right now. And actually, I was expecting some people to be dressing up, sort of, in with like effects these days. When you're in sessions like this, you can add all these amazing weird effects on you, or be somewhere else. Like here, I'm often playing around with effects because that's what I like. I can't sit still for a long time, and especially these effects that you can use to sort of alter your appearance and add virtual effects to yourself. Those I find very interesting. And for me, they're almost like a step into a future that is coming, but is not quite there yet. So these are, of course, the known situations where you're in a face filter party with people. Easy to create these with tools like Lens Studio, which used to be a face filter tool only, but these days the opportunities are full body tracking, which open up a lot of new possibilities. So for me, that's exciting because I've been working on interactive fashion for quite a while. I used to do that with my HoloLens device. So for example, a project like this happened at Fashion Week a few years ago. This was a HoloLens tool that was allowing fashion designers to put virtual fabrics on a model. This is Jill. She's actually wearing her own creation right now. These were 3D scans of leftover fashion pieces, and yeah, as you see, I mean, it's not perfect. This was still in development, but on the other hand, it does show the potential of virtual fashion, where there are actually no limits. Things can be as big as you want, can be as weird as you want. So when I started thinking about doing this talk about the digital fashion, I was thinking whether I should address the fact is augmented reality for AR fashion. I think the foremost question we're actually dealing with is, are we ready for AR fashion? Are we ready to be living in a world where people are also dressing up virtually in your own style? What kind of fashion is possible in that world? That made me curious. There's a lot of interest these days. That is because you are expected to be living your life in the metaverse, and that means that there is no physical you anymore. You have to make choices. You have to decide how you're going to style your avatar. What are you going to wear? For me, I have been in Second Life a long time ago, and this is me in the Second Life. It's fun when you can dress up and you can create your own clothing. You can style your avatar. But these days, I mean, this was in 2009, I believe. I'm working in augmented reality because I'm fascinated with that. So yeah, I had to recreate that situation in Second Life, but now do it in AR. This is me wearing this I Love AR shirt. It's a little lens studio effect I created. Yeah, when you talk about AR fashion, it's of course about the fashion, about the designs, but it's also about the hardware and the software. I mean, what is the software able to do, and yeah, what kind of hardware do you need to run that software? That's an important question, because you can have certain hardware, but that doesn't work in all situations. I think the most famous digital fashion example is, of course, the magic mirror, where you're standing in front of a digital screen and there's a webcam that's recording you and it's trying to fit virtual clothing on you, and then you can decide to buy that clothing. But I think where we're really going to is that you're not going to buy the real clothing. I mean, this is what you get. You see yourself dressed up virtually, and that's it. But then what happens when you walk out of the store? Then, yeah, you're dressed up virtually. Then you might need something like this. This is another HoloLens experiment where I'm using a real mirror, which is quite a different experience. This is not looking at yourself on a screen. This is an actual mirror, and when you're wearing a pair of augmented reality glasses, you can see yourself with these virtual additions on, and yeah, of course you can swipe through your outfits here. The video might not look as smooth. I'm sorry for that. That might be because of the connection, but in reality, if you're looking at yourself in this way and the hardware is good enough and the software is good enough, then this is a really smooth experience. But once again, you're not always standing in front of a big mirror in a shop. So I can imagine you'll be, after a while, you start remembering where there are big mirrors in public space. So once in a while, you can peek into the mirror and you can start configuring your outfit. And once again, this is an HoloLens example. A while ago, at that time, tracking and the amount of objects you could do on the in the visualization was not great, especially when you were making a recording, then it was even, the resolution was half. Nowadays, I'm using a new device. This is the Snap Spectacles device, and also I'm upgrading certain things like this idea of swiping through your outfit. I will try to see in the middle. Of course, it's the classic example, and even Mark Zuckerberg was swiping through his virtual wardrobe. But maybe in certain situations you don't want to swipe around your swipe around and move your hands, and then even a simple head gesture could help. So there's actually a few versions where you that are available when you have to think about your own virtual outfit. You can have this virtual screen in a shop. You can look into a real mirror. But if that's not available, of course, you can also watch yourself in the heads-up display of your augmented reality device, where either you see a small version of the clothing you're wearing, or maybe you could even see a full 3D copy of yourself wearing your chosen outfit. And I'm talking about devices like this, the HoloLens, which is still quite big, but yeah, soon these devices will get smaller and smaller. So have that in mind when you're looking at the things I'm showing. This is not reality yet. Of course, you can think, hey, I'm going to dress up virtually, but who's going to see it? Well, for now, you will be. This will not be your average day where all people around you have AR glasses, where people can see what you're wearing. It's still something that will happen, let's say, in 10 years from now, and that has been said, very often. But I'm afraid, it will take a little while until the final form factor will be found. But it's happening. It's big tech companies are working on this. You see the size of the devices are getting smaller and smaller. And for a couple of years, I've been keeping. I've been trying to update this graphic. To me, it feels like the AR glasses is almost like a 7-headed monster. So when one is killed, it's being replaced by others. So we got rid of Google Glass, but yeah, there's new ones coming up all the time. For me, the interest in AR glasses started a long time ago with my first do-it-yourself AR glasses, which looked like this, and I had a little piece of paper with an arrow I could point around as a cursor. When I had the era of Google Glass, I had my own 3D printed Google Glass first, and they were having much nicer colors than the real ones. But of course, I also had a real Google Glass, and I had a HoloLens when that device was introduced. And what I like to do when I have a new stuff, I experiment. So this whole mirror ideas, that I think that started with the HoloLens, playing against yourself in front of the mirror. This is something I did at home, being the only one with a device like this, so nobody to play with, but that can be solved. I think now we are all waiting for the big next step. Of course, the HoloLens is too big to wear outside, so what will Apple do? I think that is the main question, but for now, I'm very happy with this device. This is the Snap Spectacles, as I said before. So I'm experimenting with that device, creating things like this. Using the hand tracking, imagining what I would do with a device when wearing it throughout the day. And maybe this is also a nice reference to the way I got started with augmented reality, which is this exhibition in the MoMA Museum a long time ago. In 2010, this was. I realized that it's AR is actually going to change the way we deal with our surrounding. So we can put objects there, also inside a museum. And nowadays, of course, with AR glasses and people in our environment and body tracking being good enough to actually track bodies, this once again becomes a topic that you can think about, worry about. But yeah, for now, let's just explore and see where it goes. If you're talking about augmented reality, virtual fashion, it's important. What are the materials? What can you use? How sophisticated can you make it? Do you have to use 3D objects, or can you do much more? In my case, I'm a bit limited in what I can do because I'm just not a good 3D designer. I'm too impatient for that. So I personally like to use a lot of these basic objects. But yeah, that said, with new materials, new things are possible. And not everything is about recreating fabrics and letting these fabrics operate as real clothing. You could actually replace colors on existing clothing. In this case, this is an interactive shirt that reacts on if you bend your head to the left or to the right. But yeah, to show that the fabrics are really, that big steps are being made in creating realistic fabrics. This was an attempt I tried to recreate ET, and here it is. So when I was biking with ET in front of me, it was good to see that these fabrics really worked in a very natural way. Yeah, but I mean that's then an ET thing. Then yeah, getting back to fashion, here you see a virtual hoodie. This is actually one of the default items in the template collection of the Lens Studio program, but I added an interactive feature. You can wave your hand and then you can draw on your outfit. There's no possibility yet to store it, and maybe there's not even a person seeing it because so far these devices are not on everybody's head yet. But this is what will happen, and then that brings me to this other question, like what will happen exactly when there's somebody in front of you wearing AR glasses? If you have incompatible brands, if you have incompatible software, and do you actually know who's in front of you? An option would be to ask everybody to start wearing, for example, infrared codes, so these can be detected. But yeah, if I'm realistic, then of course that's not going to happen. This will be a big battle between all these different brands and hardware and software. So this is not going to happen. Yeah, what can you do to show another person what you're wearing? I've been thinking about that and creating this pin code entry mechanism where you can gesture a pin code and then a certain outfit can appear. So this could be a way to communicate to another person what you're wearing. So as you see, I'm not so much a fashion designer. I'm more working on the solutions we need to really start using AR fashion. Of course, on your own, when it's just one person, then it's about how good it looks. But if this is about what you're wearing and other people need to be able to see what you're wearing, then you stumble upon some new troubles and problems that need a fix. So that's working on. This is a pin entry mechanism where you can add 4 numbers, but the gestures were a bit weird and difficult to make. I've simplified it a little bit with this one, and I've extended the amount of pins you can enter with this one. This is a 3-dimensional pin entry code, and when you move your hand in the X, Y, Z direction, and that 2 times, then that means you can enter 6 numbers at the same time. This is actually quite hard to do. It's available. You can try it. There's a you see which number you need to sort of gesture, and then the colors are activated. This is at first it's a grayscale thing, and then once you unlock it, you can use the real amount of colors. But this also relates to maybe that we need a system to communicate what you are wearing to people nearby. And of course, this will be the holy grail, the company that starts owning this, starts becoming the default index mechanism is, of course, going to be very happy. So it will not be one company. I guess there will be a lot of competition for this. And maybe this could even be like a blockchain-based situation where there's localized slots where you can enter your, like a reference to the app that has your outfit. And in a sort of anonymous way, you could point to a certain slot, a local slot, and say, hey, this is what I'm wearing here. So maybe you don't want everybody in the whole world to always know what you're wearing. So also a bit of being able to be anonymous here, it is something we also have to think about. I might not want other people to know exactly at which moments during the day I changed my outfit. And another thing we have here, of course, is this whole business situation that nowadays people are paying a lot of money for digital fashion. But if digital fashion, it's not something you only have to see, other people have to see it as well. So they somehow need to have a copy of what you're wearing. Maybe that can be a low poly version of the outfit, which will be a pity, because then you're having this really nice, high-end, sophisticated dress, and then the other person will see a low poly version, because otherwise it could copy it. And that happened like a long time ago in Second Life. There was a copy bot, and yeah, that entered stores and copied all the stuff. That was a little bug, and then a lot of stores removed their content for a while to prevent this copying. But it's anyway, it's a difficult topic in the NFT space. What is the actual ownership of digital material? What's the relevance of copies? You can look at it in a different way as well. What you see here, this is a digital outfit being worn by Techno Viking. And here, this is not about owning something and trying to prevent other people from wearing it. No, this is the opposite. This is an outfit that I want all people around the world to wear, because it's at the same time, it's a way to advertise on this one specific outfit. It's for sale in 5 pieces as NFTs. And when you own one piece, you can put your logo on it, and being an outfit that can be worn by everyone anywhere, that might be a very interesting way to promote stuff. So it's the other way around too, not owning but sharing, which can be a driving factor in this new world. Once again, yeah, the other people in front of you. Here's an example I did. It's a reenactment of this the classical Triadisches ballet piece, where I uninvitedly projected my filter, my lens, my Snapchat filter on other people. This brings up another question, like, can you really control what other people see when they're looking at you? If you tried your best to find this great outfit, can you control what other people see when they point their phone at you? Maybe not. Actually, technically, that will be quite challenging. And what will happen is that people will project anything on you. So without the ways to prohibit that technically, it will be about finding like the ethical borders, what is allowed, what is not. In this case, I think I was even anonymizing the people inside this little clip, so that shouldn't be a problem. But it is something that will happen. And if recordings of you wearing stuff end up on social media, then then it's a different question, of course. So let's for now focus on creating outfit. And besides that, there is this huge world now of commercial outfits, designers creating virtual clothing. The great thing with virtual clothing and creating this is that you don't need to have the real skills of a fashion designer. I think these skills, it comes in two parts. Of course, there is the style aspect, and then of course you need to be a proper fashion designer to that right. But the fact that you don't need to be able to handle real clothing and that you don't need to invest in materials, that opens up this field for do-it-yourself creativity and weird experiments. And yeah, that's the way I approach it right now. So I'm very much focused on the on developing the interfaces that we will need to operate these clothing. For example, this is an example of a color picker, where once again with hand gestures you can select the 3 basic colors, and if you manage to do this well, you can actually pick any color you want. So the outfit is not that great yet here, but this could be an ingredient for a mechanism you can use to operate another outfit that's a bit more sophisticated. Another thing I was thinking about, to have a flexible sleeve choosing mechanism where you say yes or no, and you can extend or shorten your sleeves. This is, I think, a year ago, and what happened in a year is quite amazing. This does definitely not look like the fashion you want, but it shows the mechanism. Nowadays, the fabrics are much more real, but at the same time, I'm thinking, is that actually what we need to is that the only way that this is improving? I think if we really see this as a new domain, then we should not try to mimic something that we know from the real world. I mean, this can go into all directions. Why should virtual clothing actually fit? That's one of the things I'm wondering. And if you just let go of these ideas, then you can, for example, create your own clothing in a very, very easy way. Like here, this is an interactive fabric drawing mechanism created, and of course it's difficult to draw the piece in the back of you, but this one is rotating around you, detecting your movement, and then creating the shape based on what you've created. And once again, if you don't want to start waving around your arms in public space, if you feel a bit uncomfortable doing so, then this could be the outfit you want. This is an automatic generating dress generating script that follows the contour of your body on the right, and once again it turns. So slowly this turns to the front of you, and after it's rotated 360 degrees, it is turned into a wearable dress that has the clothing functionality, so it feels like real fabric, and you can wear it. At the same time, I realized that I mean if you look at how good this fits, and if you really want this to act like normal clothing, then yeah, this might not be for you.
It looks way too big, like it's not even fully on my head. Like, look how much cat there is on top of my head. It makes no sense. The shoes are actually...
So if you see how people are judging virtual clothing, they're quite harsh. It needs to fit perfectly and be realistic. But yeah, once again, if you really embrace that freedom that we can have in this virtual space, and if everybody can start designing and experimenting with creating AR fashion, then for me, I think that will be very exciting. And then you could really go into new directions. And I will now show my latest experiment. It's not completely finished yet, but it's going into this direction. I'm thinking of creating a piece that is actually split in two. This is called Best Friend Fashion, and it's about a piece that you can actually wear together, because now you can do body tracking and track two people and create a fabric that sort of exists in between people. And I think it's important to also explore it in this direction. This is something new, so now it still looks like fabrics, but maybe other things can appear amongst people. So yeah, there's still a lot to play, to experiment, and I think to get back to this basic question I had in the beginning, this actually that I turned around, like, is the augmented reality ready for AR fashion? I think yes, somehow. Are the glasses there yet? Well, it's difficult with the hardware of today, but as with hardware and technology, this improves so rapidly that each year it's twice as fast, twice as good. So that will be okay. And the foremost thing, of course, is, are enough people wearing these devices? Does it make sense to spend time dressing yourself up with your AR clothing? Can everybody else see it? And then, of course, the question is, what's your personal style? Do you want to go to show off creations by other people, or you want to customize it yourself? And I hope that will also be a big part of what we'll see around us in the near future. So I would like to end with that. And if you want to know more, I'm trying to keep my Instagram account quite up to date, and also my website and Twitter. You can see some of the latest creations I do. So for here, I hope I inspired you and gave you a peek into this world of AR fashion, and also maybe a different perspective on it as well. So thank you for your attention, and now let's get back to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Sandy. This has been so exciting. I definitely have learned a lot about this technology, and I'm pretty excited about the upcoming trends and the upcoming possibilities with digital fashion in augmented reality. I have a couple of questions for you. One of them is, how far do you predict that we are for full implementation? Are we depending on the devices, or what is your take on this?
I think, to be honest, that will take another few years. And then I think we'll first have the pioneers being able to view these devices in or to view fashion in a very natural way. And the thing is, I'm wearing glasses, which makes it very easy for me to switch, of course, to an AR wearable. But if you're not wearing glasses, then for a lot of people this will be not an option yet. And it's just a different experience when you're looking at something hands-free through your AR wearable, or if you have to put up a phone and look at something that feels like a prototype of what is going to come with glasses. I think it's going to be really there.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for such an amazing presentation. As Sandir mentioned, we can follow him on Instagram. I guess that you are very active in Twitter also. You have your own website, sandir.com, and this is an amazing opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing such an incredible work. You're very artistic, and I'm pretty sure people is going to be delighted with your upcoming designs. Thank you so much, Sandir.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye for now.